Okay, 10 real estate test questions related to property ownership and land use. One of the most exciting topics we can cover. So my name is Darren Sai. My channel is dedicated to people like you trying to pass the real estate exam and provide real estate education. So let's dive into these questions so you can pass your exam on the first try. Number 1, L owned 2 pieces of property. Congrats, L. And sold 1 parcel bordering the road to C, reserving in the deed an easement for ingress and egress to and from the remaining real property for themselves. After 5 years of non-use, L attempted to use the easement, but was prohibited from doing so by C. Maybe we should call C K for Karen. How would a court likely rule? A, the easement was forfeited due to non-use. B, the easement became void by statute. C, the easement expired under adverse possession. D, the easement was still valid since it had been created by deed. Correct answer here is D. The easement is valid since it had been created by a deed. Only an easement acquired by prescription may be lost through non-use. Question number 2. When an individual has an interest in land that continues for as long as they live, they have A, a fee simple estate, B, an easement, C, a life estate, D, a leasehold estate. Correct answer here is C, a life estate. Question number 3. A valid exercise of the government's police power to restrict an owner's use and enjoyment of property would include A, adverse possession, B, deed restrictions, C, building codes, D, easements. Correct answer here is C, building codes. So deed restrictions are private controls on property, while building codes are government controls of property. And so with this type of question, if you just know the definition, you're going to get it right. So make sure you study your definitions. Another reason to know the definitions and what all these words mean is sometimes you won't know what the question is asking if you don't know the definitions. Question number 4. A parcel of land described as southwest quarter, southeast quarter, and northwest quarter of section 13 sells for $500 per acre. What is the sale price? A, $40,000, B, $10,000, C, $5,000, D, $20,000. To answer this question, you need to know how many acres are in a section. And the answer to that is 640 acres are in a section. So if you divide that by 4 3 times, because you see southwest quarter, southeast quarter, and northwest quarter, you're going to get 10 acres. And then what you do is you just take that 10 acres and you multiply it by $500 to get your sale price of the correct answer, C, $5,000. Question number 5. One of the appurtenances to a parcel of land would be A, a deed restriction, B, a bill of sale, C, the bundle of rights, D, a personal property item. Correct answer here is C, the bundle of rights. And these are legal rights to owners of real property, including the right to a mortgage, sell, lease, improve, and enjoy the property. Now, these all run with the land and are appurtenant to it. So now that we're halfway through these questions, I want to share a question that I get a lot. And it is, where do I get these test questions? And I get these test questions from an education platform called Calibri. If you want to purchase your own set of test questions, you can use the link down below for Calibri. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link. So if you decide to sign up for something, I do get a small portion of that sale. Why I recommend Calibri is because I personally use them to pass all 3 of my exams on the first try. My mortgage license, my real estate license, and most recently, my broker's license. So I would not recommend something I have personally used to pass all my exams on the first try. All right, let's get back to studying here. Question number 6. An investor buys 2 weeks of a timeshare in Miami. They are living their life. They're having a good time. What have they purchased? Probably a bad investment, but let's get into the answers. A, a cooperative interest. B, a general partnership. C, a leasehold estate, D, an interval ownership in real property. Correct answer here is D, an interval ownership in real property. Timeshares provide fee ownership in real estate for a certain period of time, such as 2 weeks a year. Question number 7. Adverse possession is an example of how title to land can be acquired by A, transfer, B, occupancy, C, easement, D, succession. Correct answer here is B, occupancy. So in California, there's 5 ways to acquire title to land: will, accession, succession, transfer, and occupancy. And occupancy would be the result of adverse possession. So if you just understand what the definition of adverse possession is, you will get this one correctly. Question number 8. The California real estate law defines a planned development as which of the following? A, a stock cooperative, B, a condominium project, C, a subdivision, D, a common interest community. Correct answer here is C, a subdivision. A planned development containing 5 or more lots is defined as a subdivision. And obviously this question is specific to California. So like I mentioned before, if you're in a different state and you're studying with me, you may want to purchase your state's specific exam prep. There's a link down below to it. Question number 9. Tom and Sally are not married, but they own a rental property together. Because they also have a right of survivorship, they most likely own the property in A, tenancy in common, B, community property, C, tenancy by the entireties, D, joint tenancy. As mentioned before, if you know definitions of key words and phrases and you see them pop up over and over again when you're studying, highly recommend to know what they mean, because that will be easy points for you on the test. Correct answer here is going to be joint tenancy. The only other answer here with a right of survivorship is tenancy by the entireties, but that does require the couple to be married and living in the home together. Question number 10. In the rectangular survey system, what are the lines running east and west called? A, meridians, B, monuments, C, range lines, D, baselines. Correct answer here is baselines. I highly recommend you know what baselines and meridians are. I actually did get a question like this on my broker exam. So I want to reward you because you've stayed to the end. You've went through all 10 questions with me. I'm going to give you a gift. It's a bonus question. Question number 11. Which of the following is considered real property? A, implements, B, light fixtures, C, tenants' trade fixtures, and D, area rugs. Correct answer here is light fixtures. So light fixtures are considered part of the home and thus part of the real property. So the other items noted here are not considered real property because they're easily movable. So that wraps up our studying session here. I truly hope these questions help you pass your exam on the first try. If you have any questions, you can reach me directly at darren@realdarrensci.com. And if you want to continue studying with me, there's a link to some other videos with more test questions.